He's said to be controversial, fearless, but most of all, he's known to be the people's senator. I'm talking about no other than Senator Dino Melaye.
You speak the truth, you die. You lie, you die. Melaye, Daniel, Dino have decided to speak the truth and die.
Thanks for coming on my show, Senator Dino.
The pleasure is always mine.
The people in diaspora, your people in diaspora, they want to know who Senator Dino Melaye is. Can you please tell us who you are? Because we see more of you in the media, but we want to know, they want to know who you are.
Yeah, okay. Dino Melaye is this very armless Nigerian politician, a democratic evangelist, activist, public commentator. And I see myself as one who speaks for those who can't speak for themselves. I'm a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. I used to be a member of the House of Representatives, and I run a non-governmental organization called the Anti-Corruption Network. Live below poverty line. I'm just here.
Okay, today you're a sitting senator, as you said, for Kogi West.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to contest for that?
Okay, basically, I would say that I found myself in a position of authority from my childhood days. I was a primary school head boy. I was a secondary school head boy. I was a departmental president in my uni. I was the leader of the student union. I rose to become the Secretary General of the African Student Union. So I've always found myself in a position of authority, and I read very early part of my life. I read revolutionary books on Martin Luther King, on Malcolm X, on Mahatma Gandhi, and a host of others. And this actually indoctrinated and imbibed in me some leadership rudiments and agitation for a better society. And my philosophy in life is that in an unjust society, silence is a crime. And I want to believe that being in the Parliament and the Senate will help to actually nurture these attributes and also help to defend the defenseless for service, because my belief is anyone born without service is a specimen of utility to humanity. So it's to live a life of service. I'm in the Senate to give service.
Okay. Because recently you launched a book titled The Antidote for Corruption. Yeah. What inspired you to write that book?
Like I said, Nigeria is not only sick, but equally suffers from what I call a dreadful congenital abnormality. There's need for amelioration, there's need for correction, there's need for palliation, and you cannot get the desired goal of building a new society, a new Nigeria, without fighting the fight against corruption. Corruption is endemic in Nigeria and is responsible for our backwardness. It's responsible for the states of politics we play. Democracy is supposed to be government of the people, by the people, and for the people. But for corruption in Nigeria, what we practice is greediocracy. Government of the greedy, by the greedy, and for the greedy. And without combating corruption, without fighting corruption, we cannot get the developmental attention that we so deserve. Because instead of building institutions, we build individuals in Nigeria, and the way to stop that is to fight and curb corruption. So my book actually is an epistle to expose corruption and also profile solutions and ameliorations to this endemic problem that have bedeviled our national life. Yeah.
Okay, a journalist called Francis Wabufo, he wrote an article, and he titled his article, he said, when Nigerians with corruption tags launched Melaye's anti-corruption book. In lieu of this title, do you think Nigeria is winning this war against corruption? Do you think?
Basically, I would want to say that that write-up is from a very myopic and intellectually stagnant position, because my book is anti-corruption, and he was expecting that those to grace the occasion should be reverend fathers, imams, and saints. But just like our Lord Jesus Christ said, he did not come for the righteous, he came for sinners. And if you're talking about anti-corruption, you're expecting that those who will grace the occasion should actually be either those that are corrupt or have the possibility of getting corrupted. So, and when they come and listen to the democratic evangelism of anti-corruption, they may also get affected or change their minds and start working towards dropping corruption and even restituting. So I'm surprised that he was expecting only saints and angels to attend an anti-corruption crusade, because the program, the targeted audience actually is the corrupt, because they are the ones that will come and listen to the gospel of anti-corruption and possibly give their life up for it and then maybe restitute. And so for me, it was the mission fulfilled, and I'm happy that many perceived corrupt people or those who are liable to corruption attended the program, so that they would listen to the content of the book and also every other postulation that was made during the lunch, and possibly turn a new leaf, and we get a better society out of that.
So how's the book going then?
Yeah, the book is fine. I've sold over 200,000 copies within this very short limited time, and I'm telling you now we are actually in production of more copies, and already there's order for over 300,000 as I speak. I'm rolling to the bank.
In a democracy where the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria even yesterday subjected himself to the constitutional provision of presenting before us a proposal for the 2017 budget.
In regards to what's going on in the press now, you're known to be the people's senator. You know, you advocate for the people a lot. You talk about how hard things are, which is not always very common with politicians. You know, but people want to know, why are you being recalled then? You know, because you seem to be doing the job they want you to do. You know, you seem to be representing the people. You know, the struggles and the ills. But all of a sudden we're hearing about you being recalled. People want to know why. Why do they want to recall you?
Anyway, Jesus Christ is my role model, and he suffered for things he knew nothing about. He was sinless but made sinful. One would say is a paradox, because I was voted the best Nigerian senator in 2016. Today, by the grace of God, without being sounding arrogant, I have the highest number of motions and bills in the history of the National Assembly. Just last week, I got another nomination again as the best Nigerian senator 2017, and I'm going to be decorated in October at the Sheraton Hotel in Abuja. So you now begin to wonder, if a man is the best Nigerian senator in 2016, has been nominated again for best Nigerian senator in 2017, has the highest number of motions and bills, then why do you want to recall him? So if you just oppose the two, you now know that it's a product of very myopic, porous, and parochial characters.
You described attempts to recall you as the comedy of errors. What did you mean by that? Because I was quite fascinated when I...
Yeah, comedy of errors, because, like I said, you don't actually change a winning horse in a very sane environment. And to start with, my constituents never sat anywhere and appended their signatures to a record register. The whole thing is harsh, it's orchestrated, and masterminded by my state governor, who is owing about 17 months' salaries. And because I had the temerity to come out and ask that he must pay salaries, he must pay pensioners, and the Holy Book said a laborer is worthy of his wage. So I expected him to respond to that. Instead of responding to that, there's been 2 assassination attempts on my life, and I escaped only by the grace of God. And after that failed, it started the issue of recall. They sat down somewhere in the comfort of their living rooms and got INEC database, downloaded all the names, and forged all the signatures and took these registers to INEC. And already we're in court. We have over 120 dead people whose name appeared on that register already, and we filed in court for this. And we have over 3,000 to 4,000 people who have gone to swear affidavit in the court to say they were not the ones who signed against their names. So all this is in court already. So my constituents are not the one recalling me. The state governor is the one trying to recall me, because I'm saying he must pay salaries because he got the first bailout He got the second bailout. He got the Paris Club refund, the first tranche and the second tranche. And the president said this money should be used in offsetting salary arrears and pay pensioners. And he's not done that. And because I'm the only one asking him to do that, he felt he should raise an attack on me. But for me, in an unjust society, silence is a crime. I will continue to speak the truth, not my nose or his guard. I will continue to ask questions. And the battle to salvage Kogi State and Nigeria is a battle of no retreat, no surrender. So for me, the recall thing is like I said, it's comedy of errors because it's not going to go anywhere. The signatures are not authentic. The individuals involved are just criminals who have commercialized their conscience and working with the governor. I'm not perturbed, I'm not disenchanted, I'm not disillusioned. I'm focused on what I'm doing as a lawmaker, and that makes it a comedy of error.
Okay, because people wonder, do you feel guilty now? Because during his campaign, that is Kogi State Governor Yahaya Bello, you were one of the main advocates for him in his campaigning for him, and people, baffled, why, how come?
I would like to correct you that he never campaigned.
Okay.
He never campaigned. He never won an election. He didn't become governor by election. He became a governor by coronation. Because, may the soul of Prince Abubakar Audu rest in peace.
Yeah.
Prince Abubakar Audu won the election. The election was declared in his favor. Unfortunately, he died before the eventual pronouncement. And because he came second during the primaries, he never participated in the election. He was coronated as governor of Kogi State. And we supported his coronation then because our wish men were gods and people can read the future or have the celestial mind to read human hearts. We supported him. I supported him because one is a young person and I'm an advocate of generational change. I believe young people should take over leadership position. Secondly, we went to the same university. It's an alma mater of Ahmadu Bello University. So that affinity made me to give him the initial support. But I can say now that once I was blind, now I can see. With the satanic manifestation, with the wicked, nefarious attitude is manifested, not paying salaries, hooliganism, terrorism, anarchy all over the states. I actually did not just withdraw my support, but I've been called in for, I've been asking for order, I've been asking for transparency and accountability in the state, and for that he's not happy and he wants to kill me. But I want to say that we have no other state to call our own but Kogi State. We will continue to speak, not minding not us his guard, and he must, as a matter of urgent national importance and necessity, pay workers. As I speak to you, these workers have kids. They have children in higher institutions of learning. They're supposed to pay school fees. Apart from that, some of them are hypertensive, some of them are diabetic. They have routine drugs they take daily. Many have died as a result of incapacitation because they can't afford those drugs. He's had he organized a series of screening exercises at the state capitol. People traveling from various local governments to the capital. Many died on the road accidents. Many were kidnapped. So the man has brought untold hardship on the civil servants and general public in Kogi State. And because we are asking for restitution, because we are asking that the right thing be done, then it's manifesting his draconian characters and all. But for me, I'm not perturbed. Everyone is afraid, but I'm not afraid. I've conquered fear because I believe that God Almighty is the only one to be feared, and we must speak the truth to power, and every lie has an expiry date. And I believe that God in His infinite mercy will continue to fight the cause of Kogi workers.
Because I watched a footage of you addressing your people, and you were saying you will not let Governor Yahaya Bello destroy Kogi State. So this is exactly what you meant. Yeah.
This is what I meant, because one, we brought the success of APC in Kogi State. Yahaya Bello was not part of the success story of APC in Kogi State. He was not even a member of the party at the time we brought the party in. He even worked against the party in the gubernatorial elections. He worked with another opposition party against the APC. But God in His own infinite wisdom brought him to power. We expected that, yes, old things have passed away. He should now he's in power. He's governor over PDP. He's governor over APC. He's governor over even witches and wizards in Kogi State. So we expected him to manifest some positive characteristics, but eventually it's a huge disappointment. So what I meant by saying that we're not aligned to destroy Kogi State is that the APC success in Kogi State, as I'm speaking to you, is spending firstly our political capital. And we will not want him to destroy the APC, because APC purportedly is supposed to be the party in power. But there's a disconnect between him and the party and the entire structure of the party in the state. And we who are members of the APC will want to use this same vehicle for contesting elections in the future. And if we allow him destroy that political party now, then automatically we may not be able to use it to actualize our various political aspirations in future. So for me, it's we are protecting the party. That's why we say we will not allow him to destroy Kogi State via the political vehicle, the APC. And we won't allow him to destroy APC, because I'm a very ardent supporter and member of the APC. I'm even going to run presidential election on the platform of APC. So you may be talking to the president in waiting.
So, can APC government be said to have delivered good governance to the people? What are your thoughts on that?
Going by the magnitude and intensity of the devastation that befell the country under the PDP, it's not very easy to correct anomalies, because the situation was outrageously calamitous. It's a terrible situation where we're coming from. But I also want to say that the APC government needs to also buckle up. We have not done what is expected of us as a party, and we allowed infighting and some bickerings to affect the pace of our development and corrective measures that's supposed to. But I say that APC is, we need to do more. We definitely need to do more if we want to win elections in the next dispensation. We definitely need to do more. We need to build confidence in Nigerians. We need to build the hope of Nigerians. We need to manifestly show that we have the capacity to do better than the PDP.
Coming down to our infrastructures, lately there have been a lot of flooding in Nigeria. People are even losing their lives, on our roads. What's the government going to do about it? Because it keeps happening every year. And now it's getting worse, because people are now dying.
Basically, there are two reasons for that. One, government will have to expand our channels and make sure that they are properly clean and properly maintained. Most of what we Nigerians call gutter, most of these channels are blocked. In most places, there are no channels at all, and that is a great danger. Secondly, we must also carry out a serious sensitization and education, public enlightenment on climate and weather. People are really not, and Nigerians also are not also helping matters. We dump refuse everywhere. We don't carry out environmental sanitation. Most of this refuse, at the end of the day, block the canals and most of the channels we have, and also is responsible for why there's no free passage of water through these canals and channels back to the base. So basically, I think both government and the citizens of Nigeria must also have a role to play in getting it right. Yeah.
Okay. So you're telling us that 2019 you might go for presidency. Is that all?
I've not said. That's hour and time knoweth no man. But I'm saying that it will happen, but I don't know when.
So what are your plans anyway?
My plans for now is to concentrate on what I'm doing in the Senate, is to make sure that my bills pass through, is to make sure that we speak for those who can't speak for themselves, is to make life more comfortable for Nigeria. My main purpose of being in the Senate is to make sure that by the time I'm leaving, I would have impacted positively on the citizens of this country, and also must have either amended or passed laws that will make life a bit easy for Nigerians. My dream of a new Nigeria is a Nigeria where an applicant will not need a senator's note to get a job. My idea of an ideal Nigeria is the Nigeria of my dream is where you don't need to be a son or daughter of a bourgeois, a governor, a minister, or a president to get a job in NNPC and Central Bank. my thought of Nigeria is to make Nigeria a meritorious society. Right now, I have a bill before the National Assembly, and I'm passionate about it. And that is, instead of having state of origin should be abolished. What we should have is state of residence, where Emeka can contest elections in Kano, and Abubakar can decide to go to Ogbomoso and contest to be a councillor. That will unite us more as a people, because if you go to the United States of America, you see them singing their national anthem even when they're playing football matches. You can see the passion and that they understand lucidly what they are talking about. But we need to be united as a nation. Nigerians, we are too ethnic conscious, you know. Even the primary school curricula, basic social elementary disposition, the social studies we use as our basic elementary, it doesn't teach us about Nigeria. What it teaches us is Jada of Ogbobo, Awolowo of Western Nigeria, Sedona of Northern Nigeria, Azikiwe of Eastern Nigeria. And this create ethnic consciousness in you as a child, even from a kindergarten stage. So we need to teach about Nigeria. We need to change our curriculum to teach about patriotism, nationalism, civic education, and even moral philosophy. This will have a positive concomitant effect on the unity and togetherness of our people as a nation. So these are basically my projections, and I'm concentrating on that for now.
So as a senator, since you've been sitting senator, what challenges have you faced when it comes to like achieving what you want to achieve?
Yeah, but basically, I fear no soul, I respect souls. I don't run away from challenges. I appreciate challenges. I appreciate struggles, because I want to believe that it inspires me when I'm in trouble. So I'm not anti-trouble. But I will say that there's a lot of distractions from people like Sahara reporters who don't handle the ethics of professional journalism, who blackmail, who maliciously lie and misrepresent the truth and facts, who have commercialized their consciences and monetized their operations. At times they create misconception as a result of fake news. So apart from such distractions and lies here and there, for me, I'm good. The challenges are, I can handle them.
So do you think the APC government, their concept of change, how would you say? Would you say it's been successful, or would you say that it's still in the works?
I can't say it's been successful. We're in recession. I can't say it's successful. We are also not organized as we are supposed to be, so I can't say we're successful. There's a lot of appointments in this government that I believe is nepotic. I want to believe that there are a lot of square pegs and round holes. So I want to believe that there's a lot of corrections to do, and I want to believe that this second half is the best time to do it, because it's not too late to get it right.
Okay, you mean after 2019?
No. Second half, I mean, we've gone mid-term on this term.
Yes.
So this second phase is the right time to do it, so that we still have at least 18 months to do something very meaningful. Because you can't give carpentry job to a tailor. Well, I mean, it won't perform. So what I'm saying in essence is that there are a lot of ministers, director generals in the wrong place, that we need to rejig the system and bring in a lot of vibrancy and professionalism in our approach to civil administration.
Your people, your followers in diaspora here, they put in some questions for you.
Yeah, once they're not going to ask me my DNA.
No. They want to know about the youth in Kogi. You know, what hope does the youth in Kogi have?
Yeah, the problems of the youth in Kogi is not different from the youths anywhere in Nigeria. I mean, and that, for me, it's a systemic failure all over the country. When you build the youth, you build the nation. Because the holy books say, bring up the child in the right way, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. The problem is that we have value issues in our country. There's a need for attitudinal change with the youth. There's a need for a revival of mind with the Nigerian youths. As I speak to you, Bob Marley lived 31 years. Today you can see his followership all over the world. Jesus Christ lived on earth for 33 years. He was a youth. Today you know what his followership is. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was called to prophet at the age of 40. You can see his followership today. Shakespeare wrote his most famous book at the age of 24. Isaac Newton propounded the law of motion at the age of 26. So there's something dynamic, purposeful about that age bracket. The energy, the intellectual mobility, the capacity, the capability is enormous. But when you abuse it, then it has a negative effect on the society. So I think the Nigerian youth must wake up from their slumber. They must come out of their cocoon. They must imbibe and indoctrinate in themselves the spirit of I can do it. Manners don't fall from heaven any longer. That's the Old Testament. The New Testament said, he that refused to labor should not eat. So Nigerian youth must come out of their cocoon and rebuild their life, rebuild their system. And I mean, power is not served buffet. It's a la carte. You must prepare for it. You must go out and work, actually work for it. In the Holy Book, they said, where there is no vision, the people perish. So if you look at the book of Joel, he said, in the last days I will pour my spirit upon all flesh. Your sons and daughters shall prophesy. Old men shall dream dreams. As I'm sitting here after a very heavy load upon the yam, I can see myself interacting with Trump. When I wake up, I find out I'm still in Gwagwalada or Okomaiko or somewhere, you know. But the next verse says, young men shall see vision. So if you just oppose young men seeing vision, and where there is no vision, the people perish, you know that the future actually belongs to the youths. So the youth must come out. Nigerian population, eligible voters, 67% youth. So that means the youths, if they annex that opportunity and population, they are the determining factor of who rules at all levels. Whether you want to be a councillor, you want to be a local government chairman, you want to be a senator, House of Rep members, governor, or president, the youths actually have the predominant votes. So they can channel that vote positively to decide who becomes their leader. And except we start getting it right and get ourselves away from drugs, get ourselves away from all negative social vices. When I was growing up as a child, houses had no fences, even in the GRAs. But today you see people building houses. When I was growing up as a child, the only place you see tall fences is either a zoo or a prison yard. But today people don't only build their houses with tall fences. It got so bad that we now started using broken bottles as barrier on our fences. It further deteriorated, we started using barbed wire. Today it's electric fence. So that is decay in value system. From beware of dogs, you now have beware of lion, beware of crocodile, beware of snakes. It shows decay in value system. Things are getting worse. So to get back on track and for the youth to take over take over the position, they need to go back to the drawing board and operate outside the box.
But one will argue, if there's no jobs, what do we want this youth to do? To get a job, you must know someone. That's the society. That's what they're saying. That's what the youth are complaining.
Why are you interested in white collar job? Why are you interested in white collar job? Bill Gates never worked for anyone. Rose Perot never worked for anyone.
But
I have never worked for anyone. So you must be resolute that Nigerians must grow from looking for white collar jobs to building ideas. Ideas now rule the world. Ideas now is the new oil. One single idea can change the life of 25 million people. So Nigerians should forget white collar jobs. Should stop carrying CVs from one point to the other. They should approach Bank of Industry. They should approach Infrastructure Bank. They should approach Smedan and try to start something on your own. You need to create wealth than to become a salary dependent for the rest of your life. So I want to say that Nigerians are very creative. All of us must not work in NNPC or work in CBN or work in a bank. No. So the youth of this country must completely disconnect themselves with white collar jobs and begin to raise ideas, raise values that will eventually have resultant effects or multiplying effect on so many other people. So I discourage a lot of people who just say, no job, no job. No, man, get up and do something.
Most of them will say, oh, I don't have money to start up.
That is why I'm saying that there are opportunities in these few places we have mentioned. And our government must also create an enabling environment for these youths to thrive. That is basic. But the youth themselves, every generation or every country deserve the type of leaders they have. Nigerian youth must start asking questions. Old leaders, including myself, are accountable. Government is the people. It's not those in government. The elite in this country are less than 5% of the population of this country. you should not allow 5% to hold 95% to ransom. The 95% should determine the direction, should determine the pace, should determine what happens. The elites, myself inclusive, we are very weak. We use the bravado of office to intimidate and oppress the poor. But the poor do not know that power truly belongs to the people. And they can determine what the elite will do. Just that we are not organized and we are not outspoken, everyone withdraws to his cocoon. Some believe that, oh, my father is rich, I don't need to bother with what is happening to Nigeria. But if you don't act now, when the poor have nothing to eat, they'll start eating the rich. It will become unsafe to drive all these big jeeps on the road. And it's already happening. Kidnapping was not there before. People enjoy their life, they travel all over. But today, even a lot of rich people are refusing to organize big parties. Because today you organize big party, you call Sunday a day, the following day they kidnap your wife, your mother, or yourself. So we are getting there. So if the rich do not protect the poor, a time will come they will not enjoy their riches. So I'm saying that the youth of this country have the capacity to determine good governance in this country. Let's come out of our cocoon. Let's begin to speak the truth to power. We, the leaders of this country, the elites, we are weak people. We only come out with a paraphernalia of security. No. But when the chiefs are down, power truly belongs to the people.
On the education fair, most of the youth complain that their schools, when they have problems, the schools are shut for years, and they don't have enough lecturers, labs, and infrastructures to help them study better. And they feel it's because most of the elites send their kids abroad, send their kids abroad to go to school. And they feel like when they do look for jobs in Nigeria, and they're up against someone who just came from maybe studied in America or London or wherever, they take those overseas students first before they take them.
Still boils down to the society. In an unjust society, silence is a crime. When this happen, Nigerians must know how to start asking questions. You must protest peacefully. You must carry out civil disobedience. You must agitate. That is the only way to correct the society. When I was in the House of Representatives, I moved 2 motions. I didn't get even a seconder for one of them. And the second one failed immediately. When I moved the motion that we should ban the use of generators all over this country, and that's the only way to fix power. That generators should only be provided for in emergency centers like the mortuaries and hospitals. Even in the villa, generators should be banned. If there is no light in the villa, the president will work on power. If there's no light in government houses, the governors of those states will work on power. If there's no light in the office of the Minister of Power, it will not say power belongs to God. It will work on power. And I also moved the motion at that time that the wards and keys of all political office holders from councillor to president should attend public schools. That's the only way to fix public schools. Today, you have 100 kids in one classroom with one teacher who teach maths, English, but one teacher. How do you expect not to have a decay in the educational system? But all this cannot happen without a push from the populace. The population must ask questions. They can protest to National Assembly for days and say you must pass laws that will say that all public schools, all public politically exposed persons, their kids must attend public school. And if they sit down and say it must happen, it will happen. That's democracy. But when you sit aloof, that's why I said you cannot continue insane and ask grace to abound. We must wake up as Nigerians. We must challenge our leaders. We must ask them questions. That is the only way to get it right. So if we don't do that, then we will continue to live in this state. The poor will continue to get rich, and the rich will continue to get richer, and the poor will continue to get poorer. So there's a need for a change of values and a more aggressive and responsive population.
Okay, last word advice for Nigerians in diaspora.
My advice for Nigerians in diaspora is that home is home. You guys have to come back home. And even when you can't come back home, you can contribute to a quota from wherever you are. We have no other country to call our home but Nigeria. So you must do everything possible to project the image and reputation of Nigeria. And there's a lot you can do. Those in diaspora, there's a lot they can do to the progress, stability, and prosperity of Nigeria. Whatever knowledge you have acquired here, whatever wisdom, whatever economy you have acquired here, can also be useful at home. Don't just sit here and believe everything is okay here and to hell with home. No, home is home. You must also transfer both economy and intellectualism back home to make sure that we build a better society. And you can also help join in the agitation through the media for good governance in Nigeria. Don't just keep quiet. Challenge us, ask us questions, expose us where necessary, and calls for correction where necessary. That is the only way we can build a better society and a Nigeria that will be very, very progressive. I'm coming up with hashtag the struggle is real. The struggle to build a new Nigeria, the struggle to build the poor in Nigeria, because the poor in Nigeria have no political party. Hunger has no political party. Poverty has no political party. You understand? Poverty has no religion. These are only devices used by the elites to further impoverish the poor. So what we are saying is that the struggle to liberate the poor in Nigeria is real. And join the train. So join hashtag the struggle is real. And so that people will know that it's no joke that we want to liberate the poor in Nigeria. It's no joke that the rich in Nigeria must feed the poor. It's no joke in Nigeria that leaders must be accountable in Nigeria. So the struggle to get all that happen is real. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming on the show.
The pleasure is always mine.
I hope to have you again when next you come into the country.
Thank you very much.
So much. So you've heard it all from Senator Dino Melaye. You've heard it live and direct. And I hope that you guys enjoyed our show. Till next time, it's Kelly Diva Show.